Bikes, bikes, bikes. Welcome back to CQR, everybody. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm doing basically a bike extravaganza. We're going to have 3 or 4 or 6 dirt bikes or road bikes all in one video. Just something different to keep the channel fresh. So we're starting off today with a 2022 Husqvarna Fe 501. Let's talk some specs, shall we? Let's talk some specs, shall we? We'll be right back. So this guy is going to be a single cylinder 4-stroke, 510.9 cc. It's got a 95 by 72 millimeter bore and stroke. So 12.75 to 1 compression, 6 gears. You have a pressure lubrication with 2 oil pumps. It is liquid cooled. You got a DDS wet multi-disc clutch, a Magera hydraulic clutch. It is an electric start. Your frame has got a central double cradle type, basically like a chromoly. It's a carbon fiber reinforced subframe. You have a Pro Taper aluminum handlebar. Your front suspension is a WP USD Explorer 48. And your rear suspension is a WP Exact monoshock with linkage. Your suspension travel in the front is 300 millimeters and the same in the rear, 300 millimeters. Your front brakes are a disc brake that's 260 millimeter. Rear brake is again another disc brake, but it's 220 millimeter. Your front and rear rims are going to be 1.60 by 21 and 2.15 by 18. Your front and rear tires are going to be an 80 by 100 by 21 in the front and 110 by 100 by 18 in the rear. Your chain is an X-ring 5/8 by 1/4. Your steering head angle is 26.5 degrees. You got a triple clamp offset at 22 millimeters. Your wheelbase is 1487 millimeters. Your ground clearance is 360 millimeters or 14.2 inches. Your seat height is 950 millimeters or 37.4 inches. Your tank capacity approximately is 8.5 liters or 2¼ gallons. And your weight without fuel approximately is 104 kilograms or 238 pounds. Again, it's another good looking, well made bike by Husqvarna. I like how things are put together. You've got some mapping controls for different traction controls and that kind of stuff, different settings. Digital display. Of course, your tank is on the top. And your throttle and stuff would be up here as usual. Gray seats for the 2022. Sweet looking bike. Alrighty guys, this is number 1 out of the few. Again, it's a 2022 Husqvarna Fe 501. Sweet looking machine. Come down and check it out at Valley Motorsports in Kelowna, BC, Canada. Talk to Jeremy, talk to Mike, and let them know that I sent you, and they'll take great care of you. On to the next one. Okay, so here's number 2 on our list, a 2022 Royal Enfield Himalayan. Something brand new for the channel. Looks pretty cool. Let's get into some specs. Alright, so the engine on this bad boy is a single cylinder 4-stroke single overhead cam, air cooled, 411 cc's. It's got a 78 by 86 millimeter bore and stroke, 9.5 to 1 compression. Your maximum power is basically 24.3 horsepower or 17.88 kilowatts at 6,500 RPM. And your maximum torque is 23.6 foot-pounds of torque at somewhere between 4,000 and 4,500 RPM. You got a wet multi-plate clutch. It is a 5-speed constant mesh transmission. Forced lubrication wet sump. Your fuel supply is electronic fuel injection. And of course you get an electric start. So the chassis and suspension, you've got a half duplex split cradle frame. Your front suspension is a telescopic 41 millimeter forks, 200 millimeters worth of travel. And your rear suspension is a monoshock with linkage 180 millimeters of wheel travel. Your dimensions, your wheelbase are going to be 58 inches. Your ground clearance is going to be 8.6 inches. Your length is 86 inches. Your width is 33 inches. Your seat height is 31.5 inches. Your height is 53 inches from the fly screen top, it says, whatever that means. Your curb weight is 439 pounds and your fuel capacity is 4 gallons. So your front tire is going to be a 90 by 90 by 21. The rear tire is a 120 by 90 by 17. Your front brakes are a 300 millimeter disc, 2-piston floating caliper. The rear brakes is a 240 millimeter disc, single piston floating caliper. And it actually has ABS, a dual channel ABS, switchable to single channel rear wheel ABS control. That's pretty cool. And your electricals, it is a 12 volt DC system. Your headlamp is like 60 or 55 watt, an H4. Might want to turn that into some sort of an LED for some night riding to see better. Tail lamp is a 12 volt, just regular light bulb. And you got 10 watt signal lights as well. Again, this is a pretty neat looking bike. I like the fit and finish. Looks like it's well put together. Pretty cool. Got some mirrors happening too. It's got this cool bar on the front too. I like the color scheme on it, that looks pretty neat. It's got rear foot pegs for a second person. 7 kilograms for the rack. Maximum load. Alrighty, so that's number 2 for the video. Again, a 2022 Royal Enfield Himalayan. Pretty neat looking bike, and we're going to see what else I can conjure up here. Hang on. we've moved on over to KIWI Power Sports and Marine in Enderby BC, and we're checking out this 2022 Suzuki RMZ 450. So this guy is a liquid-cooled single-cylinder dual overhead cam, 449cc. It's got a 96 by 62 millimeter bore and stroke. Your compression is 12.5 to 1. It is fuel injected with a 44 millimeter throttle body. You got the primary kickstart with an automatic decompressor. You got a semi-dry sump for the lubrication system. So the transmission is a 5-speed constant mesh. You have a wet multi-plate for your clutch. And of course it is a chain driven for your final drive, a DID 520 DMA 2K, 114 links. So the chassis, your length is going to be 2175 millimeters or 85 inches. Your width is 835 millimeters or 32. Your height is 1260 or 49. Your wheelbase is 1480 millimeters or 58 inches. Your seat height is 960 millimeters or 37 inches. Your curb mass is 112 kilograms or 247 pounds. The suspension is an inverted telescopic coil spring and an oil dampened adjustable shock. The suspension in the rear is a BFRC link type coil spring, oil dampened adjustable shock, and it's preloaded. Your brakes in the front is a disc brake single rotor, disc brake single rotor in the rear. Okay, so your tire on the front is going to be an 80 by 100 by 21. It's a 51M tube type. Not really sure what that means actually. Alrighty, so your tire on the front is going to be an 80 by 100 21. Your tire in the rear is a 110 by 90 by 18. Your fuel tank is going to be 6.3 liters or 1.6 US gallons. Another really well made bike. You can always count on Suzuki for quality and refinement and things like that. I don't know if Suzuki has that great of a following, or as big of a following, I guess I should say, in comparison to other dirt bikes, but definitely a well-made machine. The one thing I found odd was that on the website they say that this bike has no warranty from factory. It's interesting. I'm not sure if you would need it so much if the Suzuki is made as good as their ATVs and stuff, but you would think they would offer something. Well guys, that's about it for this 2022 Suzuki RMZ 450. Pretty cool machine. Come and check it out at KIWI Power Sports and Marine in Enderby BC, Canada. Talk to Mickey and let him know that I sent you. And with that, we're going to be off to the next dirt bike. Now we're at Vernon Motorsports in Vernon, BC, Canada, checking out this 2022 Ttr230 from Yamaha. Another nice ride. Stick around. So this guy is a 4-stroke, air-cooled, single overhead cam, 2-valve, single piston engine, 223cc displacement, 9.5 to 1 compression. You'll have 13 foot-pounds of torque at 6,500 RPM. It is a CDI electronic ignition and electric start. It's a constant mesh 6-speed transmission, and of course it's final chain drive. Your front suspension on this thing is an adjustable 36mm fork, and it's got 240mm or 9.4 inches of wheel travel. Your rear suspension is an adjustable link type monocross, 220mm or 8 inches of wheel travel. You got a 220mm disc, twin piston caliper in the front, and you got a drum brake in the rear. Your tire in the front is an 80 by 121, and the tire in the rear is 100 by 100 by 18. So your length is going to be 2,065mm or 81 inches. Your width is 800mm or 31.5 inches. Your wheelbase is 1,385mm or 54 inches. Your ground clearance is 295mm or 11 inches. Seat height 870mm or 34 inches. Your fuel capacity is 8 liters. Your fuel capacity is 8 liters or 1.8 imperial gallons. 114 kilograms or 251 pounds is your wet weight. And of course it comes in the Yamaha Racing Blue. Well, another well-made unit from Yamaha. Of course the refinement and the quality is going to be there. Just do your maintenance, look after it. You'll have a vehicle that lasts you a long time. And of course it's a bike, so there's going to be lots of fun to be had on the trail or wherever you're going. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of the Yamaha product, and definitely can't go wrong with one of these. Alrighty, so once again, it's a 2022 Yamaha Ttr230. Hey guys, this is an outro for the dirt bike collaboration that I put together. I completely forgot to record an outro for it. So again, come out to Valley Motorsports in Kelowna, BC, Canada, or KIWI Power Sports and Marine in Enderby BC. They'll be happy to see you guys. They're great dealerships to work with, and you can't go wrong with any of the products on this video. So thanks again for watching, guys. So appreciate your support, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.